All I do is hold the top right of the screen. All of a sudden I get this. You hit that button, Apple CarPlay. This is Hussein from H2 Auto Designs, where we do LED car lighting. This video has nothing to do with LED car lighting. This video is actually about Apple CarPlay. So if you're anything like me, you love your car. If you're also like me, you have an older car that does not support Apple CarPlay. So this is how to get Apple CarPlay in your car. A couple things. First, this video is for my Nissan GTR. However, if you have a Nissan in general, this will probably help you because a lot of the stuff is similar. And even if you don't have a Nissan, you'll probably be able to learn at least about how some of these systems are set up. So I did also want to know, I do a lot of teardown of everything here in order to get to when I need to. In retrospect, I realized I didn't need to necessarily do all of that teardown. So if you have small hands and you're ambitious, you might be able to skip to a certain part in this video where you go directly behind the radio to access everything you need. So you have your nav screen, some climate control stuff, not in the picture view, but there's a radio that's underneath all this. So that's what you really need to get at. So if you want to just get at that radio and can just sort of squeeze your hands back there, you might be able to skip ahead in this video. Otherwise, you're going to get real familiar with my voice at the end of this video. So if you have any questions about this or questions about LED lighting in general in your car, hit me up, www.h2autodesigns.com. All right, just got my Apple CarPlay iPhone mirroring kit from navtool.com. I just bought it on there. It's for a 2013 Nissan GTR. I'm hoping that this will help Nissan GTR owners and Nissan owners in general, because it's not exactly intuitive what everything does, but I wanted to go over it because it's pretty plug and play. It's just like a lot of things plugging. So anyway, so you got the module here. Connected to this module, there's two sides. So you will get this, and this is part of every kit that they sell, I believe. So this goes in here, pretty straightforward. Then from there, there's an output here, and then this now will connect to all the vehicle specific stuff. So this harness is specific to Nissans. And what happens is these will connect to each other. And what then you'll do is you'll take off the radio, and behind the radio, there's going to be some wires, and you'll unplug the ones that came with the radio. You'll plug them into here, and then you'll plug them back into the radio on the other side. So there's three of these. So these will get power, video, do a bunch of stuff. So there's three of these. Just unplug them, plug them back in. Then in here, one of the things is there is a microphone. And this one is actually labeled microphone, which is nice. So there's also a microphone that will clip here, and you'll run it up to, maybe next to your visor mirror there. So talked about this. The other thing that wasn't that intuitive to me, at least, was this. So these ports are the display ports, and you're not plugging any of this into the back of your navigation screen. It actually plugs to the back of your radio. So the way it works, actually, which is sort of interesting, is your display for your navigation screen runs from somewhere in your car. It runs to your radio, and then back up from your radio to the back of your nav screen. So this is going to intercept it. So you're going to see a display port come to the back of your radio, like pretty much where the CD changer is underneath, and you unplug that. You plug it into the female side of that, and one side of that goes in here. And then you then take this cable, plug it into the other port, and then this goes back into your factory radio or CD changer. So then that way that display signal comes from the car, it goes into here, it leaves out of here, and then goes back into the radio with these two. And the last thing is this blue guy has this on one side and a USB thing on the other side. There's going to be one of these connected to the back of the radio, and what you do is you unplug it and you plug it into here, and then this end goes directly into the nav tool from this side. And this part took me a little bit of time to figure out. Now it makes perfect sense, but essentially you have, there's a USB port in the car, like where you're, I think it's at least in my car, the USB port is right behind the cup holders. And when I plug my phone into that now, you know, before I install this, it will recognize my phone and start playing music. So what this does is this intercepts it and sends it directly to the nav tool, so that when you plug your phone into the one that was built into your car, that is now sending the signal directly into the nav tool, opposed to running a separate wire. So this is just intercepting that, so you can still use your regular port that came, it's like built into your car, but when you plug your phone into there, instead of going into somewhere in the car, it's technically just running back into that. Last thing that came is a USB port, and now, or it's a USB cable. I think it's micro USB. This is for here. You're gonna need this to update this unit, because you have to update this out of the box in order to configure it for your specific vehicle. Whew, that was a mouthful. Well, that's what all this stuff does. And the biggest thing is getting behind the radio, because that's where most of the stuff plugs in. You know, there's some other things here. I'll actually go over these real quick. So this cable is not labeled. This cable is if you need a remote for your car. So some cars need a separate remote and some cars don't. In my particular car, I think it's a 2013 Nissan GTR, there does not need a remote, so no remote comes with it, you don't use it. Again, this was a microphone. This was the thing that connects to the hard disk. There are 4 black cables here. These 4 black cables are for 4 different cameras: front, back, left, right. And then there is some audio cables. So in some cars, in order to get audio, you need to run this to your auxiliary port in your car. You don't need it to the Nissan GTR that I have, the model I have, but I have a 2008 Acura TL where I have a video where I do need to run these, or else I won't get audio. And then there's just 2 more wires here. One of them is a green one. It says positive 12 volts. This is essentially a 12 volt wire that's on when the car's on. So if you're connecting any cameras and you need a switched or ignition switch 12 volt, this is what you use this for. And the very last thing is this one is just, actually I'm not sure what this one does. I will update y'all later on what this does, but that's what I got for now. We're in the car. Generally speaking, it's probably a good idea to unplug your battery before you start something like this, just so you're not shorting anything. I'm too lazy to do it right now. I'll probably do it as I get further along in the install. But yeah, we have a bunch of panels to remove. We need to get behind here and behind here. So we're gonna start just by removing one I know comes off. So first I'm gonna start with this panel right here. And for this panel, lift your glove box up, grab underneath, just sort of grab it like this, and lift. And these are just a bunch of clips. Try to do the left and the right side. And let me just tilt this down a little bit. Try to do the left and the right side. All right, perfect. So I'm just sort of popping with my hands. Pop a little bit on the left. Pop a little bit on the right. And there's just a bunch of clips that hold this in. Oh, actually, I lied. Before you do that, there's 2 clips on either side that need to be removed. So these actually, if you literally just put pressure and pull out, these ones come out. Grab these. So it looks like a bunch of clips in there. I have this, I have something here. I'm gonna Velcro that, pull out. And yeah, so now this thing will come out a lot easier. So throw these to the side. Again, just sort of lift up. And that side's off. You might need to lift the shifter up just to get some more space. And this side is also off. Yeah, so both of these are off, which is nice. I know this guy's gonna need to be removed here, so flathead screwdriver for these, and eventually this is going to be needed removed, and that's we're going to start with trying to get at this climate control thing. I see 2 screws, Phillips. Let's remove this guy. I'll try not to drop any of these screws because it's going to be a pain in the ass to get it from in here. Remove the left one, remove the right one. And we'll see as we take these out. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are just going to be the same. So if they're the same, then we don't have to separate them. But I'm throwing it in my glove or my cup holder. Let's see. Ooh, I got a little bit of give when I took that out here. I also see... I see the R cluster. I think in order to get the R cluster off, you have to take this part off first. So let's see. I see a little bit of give. I don't see any other screws. I bet you. You know what I'm gonna pull out? Plastic pry tools. If you don't have these, I think I got this off of Amazon Auto Excel. But yeah, I have a host of these. It just lets you get a little bit of leverage behind there. I used to do subwoofer installs and speakers for years and not have one of these, and I got one, and now I'm like, how did I live without it? Yeah, let me grab something and oh, all right. I guess if you just pull it, there's some clips in there. So I pulled one side, and I'm assuming if I pull the other side, all right, perfect. So this came out. So I had one screw, clips pull out. I bet you there's a bunch of harnesses behind here that we'll have to unclip. And let's see if I can get the camera. It's on my head, so let's see what I got. I have 3 harnesses here. I got 1, 2, 3, and I'm just gonna go ahead and unclip them, pulling down, unclip one, pull down, unclip another, and all the tabs are again underneath. So that was pretty painless, straightforward. Anyway, throw that there. So I got 3 tabs. Let's see. Next thing I probably want to get at is this thing. So again, I'm going to find my Phillips screwdriver. From here, I see 2 screws, one here, one here. I'll go ahead and remove these. I bet you these have some harnesses behind them too. And I'm just making sure the screws I just took out and the screws I have here are similar before I start putting them together. Yeah, same size, same Phillips. So we'll just, for now, just pop those all in the same bucket there. So for this, you'll see 1 tab to the right, 1 tab to the left. If you actually take your finger and just push from the back, it'll come off. I want to push with the other one from the back, and came off. And now this just comes off. This only has 1 harness, which is nice. This is a stubborn little guy. So I'm finally getting it out. It's like halfway removed. There's a tab right here. You push down on that tab, and when you push down, I mean, you have to use pretty much 2 hands to pull this guy out. But it comes out. It's one big piece, you know, and for, you know, I thought maybe you had to this was like a bridge or something, but you literally push down this tab, and once it goes down just a little bit, then you, with a lot of force, you pull it back. So this guy is off. And let's see, so I got these. Let's see, this is off, this off, this off. Perfect. So I see some plugs here. These don't look like the plugs I actually need for this nav tool thing. This plug actually looks like it probably is one of the, actually no, this makes no sense. I think there's plugs up here and plugs down here I need to grab. So what looks more annoying? I know to get this off the radio, I need to remove this and the shift cluster thingy, so I'll do that later. I think I'll hang out with this guy. I need to get access to this. So in order to do it, if you actually just lift this side up, again, I have one of these plastic pry tools, but if you lift this side up, you can see it starts to give a little bit. And then if you can get something in between this piece in here and push up, again, get the plastic pry tool in there, push up, this top part will start to give too. And you're just lifting straight up. All right, so now that we lift it up, I can see some screws in here. I don't know how easy they are to see. This is ultimately, like, this leads all the way through here. And it's like connected all the way through here. So I don't think this will fully come off, but I feel like it's off enough to probably start taking off some screws. So I see at least two screws back here, maybe another two or couple back over here. All right, so four screws. They're actually removed. I removed them already, but there's one here, and then tucked back here, there's one there and one there. So once you remove those, and they're silver ones, so I just dropped them in there. Now this guy is held in by two more tabs. One is tabs right here where the light is, one tab's right there. So literally you just pull up, and I'll have to put the camera back on my head. I'm gonna take this guy and this side, and I'm just gonna pull literally straight back. So pull straight back, feel one tab come off, pull straight back, feel another tab come off. I'm sure this has harnesses behind it, so don't want to pull it too aggressively. But let's see. So at least this is off. So I'm just gonna tilt it down. Oh yeah, there's all types of harnesses connected to this. Let's see. Got the camera here, so I at least got. Let's see. This is one. That's two. I don't know what that is. Three-ish. Let's see. I'm gonna put this back on my head. Apologize about what's going on. So I'm gonna unplug this top one. Let's see. Oop. Try not to break the car interior. Oh my god. Alright, got that one. Oh, this is a funny little. This one is a funny little clip. Oh, yeah, it is a funny little clip. So I got those two from the top. So I got two, and then, so the nav unit's done, but there's still some stuff. Oh, there's a little, so I got these two detached. Then there's a little tab here, which is probably preventing slack from, or probably preventing tugging on these. So this is just connected to this metal bracket, so I got to push that up. And then I think this, the stuff that was routed here on this side, I think just comes down below. So I think these are okay. Yes, that's okay. So the only thing I gotta disconnect is this little tab here. I think I should usually just actually can just pull these out. Man, got a futz with this thing. Actually, you can probably see it better from the other side. It's this little tab right here. And I just push that down and maybe use a little flathead screwdriver to push both tabs in. Okay, perfect. So now this thing is out. And what I was referring to is this little tab. And this tab holds to the metal bracket, so when you pull the screen out, instead of yanking on these cords, it's yanking on this. So the nav screen is pulled out. Sort of cool, just take a look back here. I don't even know what this, like there's a little unit here, no idea what it does. These cables are starting to look familiar. I know this was somewhere on the nav tool. So I don't know even what that says. This is somewhere on the nav tool. So we got this, so feeling pretty good about this. This radio needs to come out. Once this radio comes out, I think we'll be good as far as everything needs to come out. So to get this guy out, a couple things. So first, this whole shifter thing needs to come off. And in order for that to come off, there's a couple steps. So first, this part needs to come down. So if you get it something plastic, I probably wouldn't shove something metal in there because it'll probably damage it. So if you just shove it in there and push down, come on. Probably need to get something a little finer. Yeah, so now this part, so I just shoved it in there, so now this part came down. So in here, and it's super hard to see. I'll try to zoom in, but there is a little metal clip, and it is right here. And once this metal clip comes out, then, God, it's so hard to see. Once that little metal clip comes out that's there, then the shifter will just lift out. So I'm going to put this back on my head and give her a whirl. So I heard it works best with pliers, so I just got a little pair of pliers here. I'm going to see if I can grab that little metal clip. All right, so it just pulled straight out. I'm not going to lose this. I'm going to dump that in there. And now I'm going to try to lift the shifter. Okay, shifter lifts straight out. So now shifter and this are lifted out. And yeah, there's some ridges right here where the shifter was. So I got that guy. So set this aside, of course, somewhere where I won't lose it. Now to get this thing out, I think it just pops out. I don't think there are any clips, so I'm just going to try to lift. Let's see. Maybe there are some screws. I heard it just pops out. And there's 2 clips in the front, 2 clips in the back. Let's see. Oh, it's feeling stubborn. I have to take some, maybe I'll take a look here. All right, to remove this, there was not a secret to anything. There's just 4 tabs, 1, 2, 3, 4. I was having issues with this one, and honestly, you just pulled harder. I thought I had to take off some screws I saw here, but nope. So you don't want to pull too hard because there's 2 harnesses that are attached here. One of them's for the start or push to start. So I'm gonna pull that off. And there's one up here. Let's see. Man, there's like no uniformity in any of these harnesses. Come on. Gotta find the clip. Oh, clip is in the front. I do see it's brown. It's in the front, or the clip is on the side facing us. Looks like it's brown. I'm just gonna, come on. Yeah, huh. Oh, these clips. All right. Yep, the tab was right there that I had to pull. So I got the front one off, or the back one off, and now there's one on the front. I'm actually just gonna turn it all the way up. Oh, probably shouldn't lose this because it protects stuff from falling in the engine bay. All right, anyway, so there's a clip right here. That clip is much easier. So now we got this guy removed. So now we got this removed. Now this thing will come off. How? I'm not 100% sure. I see a couple screws actually. I see one here. I see one on the top there, and I bet you there's some on the bottom. Let's see, on the bottom, same deal. I think there's 2 on the bottom, so I think 1, 2, 3, 4 is my guess. Let's see, screwdriver. Man, we did not make that easy to get at. So now that this is here, this whole guy should just, oh yeah, it just sort of pulls off. Oh, I feel like I heard something drop. So I see a harness right here at the top that I'm gonna get at. Oh, huh. Oh, this is a weird faceplate. Interesting. So let's see. Got one guy here and one thing up there. Probably don't want to twist that too much, actually. All right, I'm going to start with this thing up here. All right, actually I lied. I'm going to take this off because I got this guy, and then this is probably just for a light or something. God, I don't know why they make this so freaking difficult. Is there one more? There's one more. There is one more. I'm just gonna leave this to the side for now. Fun fact. So this guy was here. There's actually 3 things that were connected to it. There's 1, 2, I got these off. This one is actually related to the airbag, and this one was actually tucked here, so I thought I had to remove it from here. Glad I didn't do that. So instead of removing it from here, just unclick it from here, and this whole thing then comes off. Realize I need to get it at this radio here. There were 2 screws here, one on either side that came off. Excuse me. Then the radio itself sort of is loose at that point. I don't know if there's enough slack to pull this thing all the way out. And so I might have to get a panel. I might have to get at one of these panels to pull out. And then that way, if I pull out one of these panels, I can see behind there, because I don't know if there's going to be enough slack for me to pull this whole thing out and then look at the wires beneath it. I think I'm going to have to get to it from behind. I'm on the passenger side now, so there's a panel here, 2 clips, and it clips out. It's sort of a little bit of a hinge on this left side, but actually there's more than 2. No, 2. 1 clip here, and then these clips here, and they clipped into here, here, and somewhere over there. And when you get here, you got to wiggle a little bit. You could have did the driver's side too, but now what this is going to do, it's going to give access to all the radio plugs. And I'm just going to unhook the radio plugs in here quick. I don't know if I'll be able to do it with the camera because of the position, but, you know, there's just going to be a bunch of junk back there to unplug and pull out. All right, just pulled the radio out. It came out from here, obviously. And holy crap, are there a lot of things plugged in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm guessing all of our harnesses from NavTool probably plug into a lot of the stuff that's back behind the radio. Yep, found 1 match there. I have 3 matches I need to find. Found another match here. 1 more match, and we good. Another match here. All right, these are our 3 matches. So there's some couple other things that need to be plugged in from the NavTool thing, but at least I know that most of the stuff plugs into the back of the radio. Now I'm questioning how much of this stuff up here I even had to take off. We'll see. All right, so this is where probably the meat and potatoes of this, meat and potatoes, it's a Midwest thing to say. This is probably where the good content is for this video. So everything else you can either find online in another video, or, you know, poke around and pull stuff off yourself. This was not that intuitive for me. So there's a couple things to go over back here. So some of the stuff is pretty intuitive. Like I was saying before, there are 3 harnesses that come off of here that will pop in here, and they only go in 1 spot. And then on the opposite side, you connect the one that came from your car into here. And what this is doing is it's just sort of grabbing certain signals to be able to override them or steal power. So 3 of these are going to go in the back here. I'm missing one. Yep, go in the back here. And then the ones that came from my car are connected to these white ones. Then again, this black cable is connecting to this black cable, or this black harness, which eventually is the one that just runs to the NavTool here. So we got those connected. The other things that were not that intuitive to me is that, so you actually don't have to I didn't really need to take off the screen. This is the one thing I did not need to do. So what happens for the video feed is the stuff that's displayed on the screen, first, it comes from somewhere in the car, probably through these cables that are here. It goes into this box. Then the video signal leaves this box and goes into the screen. So what we're gonna do is, right now we're gonna intercept the cable that goes to the screen. So the cable that goes to the screen is a there's only one. On my car, it's brown. I think they might all be brown. I'm not sure. But you intersect this with the female cable on here, and you plug this in into here. So now the feed that feeds this screen, because this cable that's coming from my car eventually just leads up to the screen, but instead of leading to the screen, it'll go into the right side of this box. And then so now this thing can now feed this screen with whatever it wants to, which, you know, is going to be your phone. So now, in order to still retain the factory side of stuff, because you're still going to need to be able to use your gauges, now you have another wire on the left side, and this is just going to be a male to male wire. So it has this actually on both sides. So you connect this into the left side of the nav tool, and then it goes back into the brown cable here. So now what this will do is, if you want your factory stuff, it'll still retain that. So we got these. That is actually all that goes to the back of this. Everything else that goes, all the other wires will just plug back in where they were. Interesting enough, I don't know what's supposed to be plugged in here, because on my car, there's nothing that gets plugged in here. I don't know if it's for other Nissans or something. But yeah, that's everything that plugs into the radio itself. And there's a couple other parts here. All right, so got everything in the radio. So the other thing is, and I thought this was really cool, this was not that intuitive to me. So there was this cable that came, and it had this blue thing on one side and a USB thing on the other side. I didn't quite get it. So what this is this, there's a little blue cable here, and this was previously connected to this radio. So instead of connecting it to and what that did is, this blue cable, if you run this blue cable and chase it through the car, it's just an extension wire and leads to this port in your car, which is nice. So I plug this in here, and then I could use my you know, loads up your music and whatever. So because I have the Apple CarPlay thing, I won't need that anymore. So what this does is, you take this cable, you connect it here, and then this connects to the nav tool. So now what's going to happen is, this cable runs to here, connects this blue thing, runs all the way through here, and connects to this port. So when I want to use my Apple CarPlay nav tool thing, I'm just connecting it to the the OEM stock, port, which is really cool, because in the previous installations, if your car didn't have this, you'd had to, take a USB, connect it directly into here, then mount like a new USB port. It just, wasn't as clean. So that's that setup. So hook this here, hook that into the USB here. Again, this main harness goes to here. And remember, that main harness has the black part that connects to the thing behind your radio. A couple other things here. There's something here that says, it's a white cable, it says manual activation. What this does is, there are various cameras, front camera, side cameras, back cameras. In my case, I'm only installing a front camera. And what this does is, it allows you to manually activate the camera by hitting a button. So in order to get this to work, this has to hook up to a push button. And then on the other side, it has to go to a 12-volt source. And then when I push the button, it will activate, cycle through the cameras. So I'm going to go over that in a second. The other thing I have, this just says a green wire. It says 12-volt output. This is just a 12-volt wire that's only on when the car's on. So in a lot of the videos, people are just using this for their camera. So this is going to be the positive wire that feeds the front-facing camera that I have in the car. And then there were these auxiliary cables, the red and white ones. I don't need these at all. So with this, my particular car, a lot of the audio stuff is just integrated in here. If it wasn't in your car, then you would need to connect this to something for audio. And again, the very last couple things here. So there's these black video cables. These are going to connect. There's 4 of them. Back camera, front camera, side camera. I'm only going to use the one that says front camera, and it'll be a video source that'll go in here. That's, just that yellow video wire will go in here. Very last thing is, there is something that says microphone in. That's pretty intuitive. It comes with the microphone. You connect it in here, route it up, mount it here, and that's your microphone. And I think that's everything I'm connecting. So what I would do now, and I actually did this last night, is I would have connected everything sort of ugly like this, plug all these wires in and just test to see that the screen works. In order to actually, connect these, you got to actually duck that thing back in there. Before you put it together, just test that it works. And yeah, after you test that it works, and that's what I did last night. So now the name of the game is where essentially I'm doing a reverse installation here. So this box is going to be new and introduced along with all these freaking wires. So I'm pretty sure this box, I'm going to rest right here. And the reason I like right here is because there's these side panels, and I took the one off here. So if I ever need to access this box, instead of taking all this stuff off, I'll just be able to shove it, pull it out from the side if I put it on that panel there. So I'll have a better close-up of where I mount that. But that's sort of the setup, and that's what all these freaking wires do. So it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. It's, you know, there's sort of some instructions, but it's not that intuitive. So right now I'm going to connect these wires back, put the radio in there, snug, maybe mount the this radio part there, make sure all the wires are there, do another test, and then I'll probably put more of the car back together, do another test, because as you start plugging things back in, you don't want to put everything back together and then see that it's not working. And there's going to be a lot of tension on these wires. If one of these pins pulls out, all of a sudden you don't get power, you don't get video, whatever. So but yeah, the only other thing in retrospect is I'm not 100% sure I needed to take off that screen. So again, it was just tune, a couple clips, but I think everything else I needed to take off just to access it all. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start putting this back together. I'll take some video along the way if I run into things that seem complicated or annoying. Cool. For me, this is a good stopping point. So what I did is I tucked the radio in here. These are still loosely in here. This is still loosely in here. I still haven't necessarily hid the nav tool. Everything's connected, but it's eventually going to tuck in there. But just, hook the battery up, made sure the CarPlay thing works, and, I have audio, I have sound, and this whole jazz works. Anyway, so I'm going to stop here. Then the other thing I'm going to do, I think from here, I'll probably... I might just hook everything up and test it from there again. But, good, especially as you jam things in here. You just want to make sure things are still connected. Test this, test your factory one. Make sure these buttons still work. Knob still works. Volume rocker still works. The climate control knob still works. The whole shebang. Okay, cool. I'm going to press the car to the on position. You'll notice my factory navigation screen starts up. I have a cable here. I'm going to connect it to my phone. And then this cable just runs over to my factory USB port here. So now that my phone's connected, I'm going to hold the top left of the screen. That activates Apple CarPlay. Now I'm going to hit this button, and here we go. So now that we are in here, we can do a couple things. So obviously that's my GPS going. This is the factory screen. You can hit this button to see other parts of the screen. You can scroll left, you can scroll right. Goes back to your home screen. Let's say I want to play Spotify. I'm going to hit that button. Loads up my Spotify. It's connected to my Wi-Fi that's outside my house, which is slow. So I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone here real quick. Okay, perfect. So now oh my God, and now I got a phone call coming in. But, well, perfect. This is actually a good time to test out stuff. Hey, how's it going? Oh, got to turn up my volume here. Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm recording a YouTube video, so you're actually on my YouTube video. I wanted to see how Apple CarPlay works, and your call came in, so that's perfect. I'm talking to you on this microphone up here, and you're coming out of my speakers. Can I call you back in a moment?
You sure can.
All right, thanks. Speak of the devil. All right, so that's how phone calls work. All right, so we're in Spotify. Your playlists show up here. I'm just gonna hit shuffle, play music. We'll stop that before I get a copyright thing on this video. But yeah, so here's how that's working. You go in here, Google Maps, this is all working with the touchscreen that's here. So I can search for stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to get back to your factory system, you hold that button. And now we're back to the factory system. All the original gauges still work. We can hit all the stuff that's on the factory system. And again, hold that button. here we are. The other thing I wanted to demo really quick is I put a camera on the front of my car. So I hit that button and I have a view of the front camera. It's sort of in a weird spot, so we're sort of seeing part of my grill here, because I placed the camera sort of an interesting spot, but this is the best spot for me. Again, if I had other cameras, I would be able to hit my back camera and my side camera. I don't have those. Hold here. Let's see. Oh no, actually, sorry, I hooked up this button here. And that takes me back to the factory screen. Again, hold that, and we're back here. If you hooked up your HDMI mirroring, you could have hit that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for how that's working.